Welcome to Standard Voice News Channel. I am Samira Ibrahim. Here are your top stories for today. 11 Nigerians rescued from bandits in Zamfara State. Inspector General of Police bans some special units from routine patrols. Force Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force visit 4th Joint Military Region in Cameroon. On business, PZ CUSSONS suffers a pre-tax loss of 7.984 billion naira in 2019. And on the international scene, Mali's junta has removed a major obstacle to the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions. Now on the news in details. In furtherance to his carrot and stick approach to lasting peace in Zamfara State, Governor Bello Muhammad Matawallan Marajan has facilitated the rescue of 11 Nigerians from bandits without payment of ransom. This is coming at a time when he summoned a stakeholders meeting on Saturday, 3rd October 2020, to discuss further avenues of achieving peace without bloodshed in the state.
We are aware that we're always meeting in order to review the activities of the bandits and the general security in the state. So today we decided to call this long-awaited meeting in order to discuss on the issue of security, which this is the best meeting that was held, because all of them have sworn that from today no one will aid or go and do any act of banditry or cattle wrestling and whatever. So today, all of them, both them and the so-called NSAK, that is the vigilante group, they swear will follow for all of them today. As from today, we draw a line, and I believe with what they have swear with. So we have a lot of successes for today's meeting. And to me, it's important to do the reconciliation because we use both kinetic and non-kinetic approach to all of the issue. So but this is the best option for us because if you recall, within my 100 days in office, when we called for this dialogue, once they agreed and we get a lot of successes. So we have to continue doing so. But for today's meeting is fruitful and I believe from today, Zamfara people will see a lot of changes in terms of security in the state.
The victims, 8 males and 3 females, are from various states which included Bauchi, Niger, Sokoto and Zamfara states. They expressed their total delight and boundless gratitude as they described Matawalli as the Oak of Noah. Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalli, who received them at the government house, assured that his administration will not rest on its oars until total peace is achieved in the state. He directed that the victims be taken to the hospital and the status of their health ascertained before they are finally released to their respective families. The presidency responds to the recurrent threat to the corporate existence of the country, with factions given specific timelines for the president to do one thing or another, or else, in their language, the nation will break up. A statement by the presidential spokesman Femi Adesina warns that such unpatriotic outbursts are both unhelpful and unwanted, as this government will not succumb to threat and take any decision out of pressure at a time when the nation's full attention is needed to deal with security challenges facing it at a time of the COVID-19 health crisis. For more details on the story, over to Rahama Ibrahim.
He said this administration will not take any decision against the interests of 200 million Nigerians, who are the president's first responsibility under the constitution, out of fear or threat, especially in this hour of health crisis. The president, as an elected leader under this constitution, will continue to work with patriotic Nigerians through and in line with the parliamentary processes to finding solutions to structural and other impediments to the growth and well-being of the nation of its people. I am Rahama Ibrahim Dusra, reporting from Standard Voice Television.
The presidency on Sunday said that some groups of Nigerians have been dolorous, disgruntled and disconsolate over the suspension of strike by the organized labor. that have since risen with the imperatives of fuel price adjustment and opening a further window of dialogue on the service-based electricity tariff. It said that South Nigerians had apparently perfected plans to use the strike by the labor unions as smokescreen to unleash anarchy on the land, fomenting mayhem and civil disobedience, other that the plan blew up in their faces and they have been in severe pain since then. In a statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the President, Mr. Femi Adesina said the dolorous, disgruntled and disconsolate Nigerians have therefore launched a series of tirades against the organized labor. Mr. Adesina further said, for some interest groups, their intention was to use the umbrella of the strike to further their whimsical and pie-in-the-sky dream of a resolution in the country. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has said there is no official date for the reopening of camps nationwide. The organization said it was waiting for approval for the reopening of orientation camps, having made a presentation before the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. It dismissed reports orientation course will resume 27 October 2020 with Batch A, Stream 2, and that the batch has been subdivided into Batches A and B. For more details on this story, over to our correspondent, Shehu Magaji.
In a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations at the NYSC, Mrs. Adeniki Adeyemi in Abuja on Saturday, the scheme describes the reports as fake. The statement said it is imperative to state that the scheme has ensured that all the COVID-19 safety protocols incidental to safe hosting of orientation programs are in place in all its 37 orientation camps. Note also that some precautionary safety measures already adopted by the scheme had earned it the recommendation of the PTF. It expressed hope that the federal government through the PTF will soon give approval for the full resumption of camping. While the NYSC sincerely appreciates the patience so far shown by the PCMs, who have waited for over 6 months to be called up for participation in the scheme, it equally empathizes with them over the unanticipated disruption of their programs resulting from COVID-19 pandemic. I am Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV News.
The Inspector General of Police, M.A. Adamu, has banned the personnel of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad and other tactical squad of the force, including the Special Tactical Squad, Intelligence Response Team, Anti-Cultism Squad, and other tactical squad operating at the federal, zonal, and command levels from carrying out routine patrols and other conventional low-risk duties, stop and search duties, checkpoints, mounting of roadblocks, traffic checks with immediate effect.
In addition, no personnel of the force is authorized to embark on patrols or tactical assignments in Mufti. They must always appear in their police uniforms or approved tactical gear. The IGP's directives come against the backdrop of findings by the leadership of the force that a few personnel of the tactical squads hide under the guises to perpetrate all forms of illegality, contrary to the standard operating procedure, code of conduct, and the rules of engagement establishing the squads. Specifically, the IGP has warned the tactical squads against the invasion of the privacy of citizens, particularly through indiscriminate and unauthorized search of mobile phones, laptops, and other smart devices. They are to concentrate and respond only to cases of armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crimes when the need arises. The IGP notes that the federal SARS and other police tactical squads remain a critical component of the force in confronting prevailing and emerging violent crimes in the country. He, however, condemned every act of unprofessionalism, abuse of human rights, and higher-handedness by some personnel of the squads. He has therefore ordered that the squads and the monitoring units to embark on immediate and massive nationwide monitoring of activities of tactical squads and other police officers on the road. They are to ensure prompt arrest, investigation and the prosecution of all errant police officers who violate those directives and other extant regulations of the force. That has been the report. Dahiru Sama'ila Mafara, Standard Voice News.
The Kano State Police Command, under the leadership of Commissioner of Police Habu A. Sani, has informed the general public that one Hawa'u Habibu, aged 26 years old, attacked and killed her two biological children. The names of the children are Irfan Ibrahim, 6 years old, and Zuhura Ibrahim, 3 years old, and wounded one Aisha Sadiq, 10 years old, her nephew, all of Gwale local government area of Kano State. The accused was said to have fled to unknown destination. Team of detectives immediately rushed to the scene and took the victims to Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital, Kano, where a medical doctor confirmed the two children dead, whereas the said Aisha Sadiq was transferred to Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, treated and discharged. The Commissioner of Police directed a team of Operation Pop Ada, led by SP Nasuru Gusau, Divisional Police Officer DPO, Gwale Division, to arrest the suspect within 24 hours. The suspect was, however, arrested on the same date. The Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Civil Societies and Development Partners, Alhaji Kabir Idris, has reiterated the resolve of the legislature towards holding the executive arms of government, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, donor agencies and development partners accountable to the citizens. Alhaji Idris, who stated this during an oversight functions to the Office of International Committee of the Red Cross in Nigeria, applauded various humanitarian interventions initiated by ICRC across the country. Over to our correspondent, Rahama Ibrahim, for more details.
The chairman, who stressed the need to investigate the controversies trailing the activities of some NGOs and CSOs, which led to the shutting down of their operations by the Nigerian army, underscored the need for effective monitoring, investigation and constant evaluation of their activities for better productivity. He said the mandate of the Committee on Civil Societies and Development Partners, as was clearly articulated in their letter, include, among others, the oversight of the local and international NGOs, civil society organizations, donor agency, and formulation of policies and guidelines for the coordination and regulation of the activities of the external donor agencies in the country. He said they are aware that there are a lot of humanitarian organizations operating in the northeastern part of the country, including the ICRC and other local and international NGOs. He said their visit is to get some insight into the activities of the ICRC in the key objective to reduce, if not eliminate, the various malpractices of CSOs and NGOs in the course of their operations and ensure accountability. I am Rahama Ibrahim, reporting from Standard Voice Television.
Kogi State Governor Alhaji Yahya Bello has said kidnappers, abductors and all forms of criminals should be dealt with rather than negotiating with them in any way. Speaking through his Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kinsley Fonwo, at a Senate press corps retreat in Lokoja on Saturday, Alhaji Yahya Bello said it's an arbitration negotiating with the criminals, having committed unimaginable crimes against the society. He revealed that insecurity in Kogi State was at its peak before he took over governance in 2016, with a record of 25 cases of kidnapping per month. He insisted that negotiating with kidnappers or criminals in any way gives credence to continuity in the act, adding that dealing with criminals in proportion to crimes committed had worked in Kogi State. Hence, cases of kidnapping have reduced in the state. He stated that he can't negotiate with kidnappers or negotiate with terrorists, but he will deal with them. The Force Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force, Major General Ibrahim Manu Yusuf, was on 3-day operational visit to Cameroonian formations in Morua in the far north regional of Republic of Cameroon. Report says the operations of Sector 1 Multinational Joint Task Force Cameroon are closely linked with the operations of other formations of the Cameroonian Defense Forces. These include Operation Emergence by the 4th Joint Military Region and the 4th Gendarmerie Region, as well as Operation Alpha by the Rapid Intervention Battalion, all located in Moro. Over to our correspondent Peter Phillips for more details.
The purpose of the visit was to enhance synergy between the multinational joint task force and the adjoining national operations of the Cameroonian Defense Forces. On arrival, Major General Yusuf paid a courtesy visit to the governor of the Far North region. The governor commended the multinational joint task force for stabilizing and restoring relative peace to the Lake Chad Basin. He appreciated the sacrifices of all soldiers from the multinational joint task force troops, contributing countries, and assured that the ongoing military operations will ultimately bring peace and security for sustainable development of the region. In his response, General Yusuf appreciated the political support and public goodwill extended to Sector 1 of Multinational Joint Task Force. He said the support has facilitated the smooth execution of non-kinetic operations, leading to the surrender of several insurgents in Sector 1 area of operation. Peter Phillips, Standard Voice Television News.
On business. CUSSONS Nigeria PLC, the dynamic consumer product group, has released its year-end audited financial report for the period ended 31st May 2020. The results revealed that the group suffered a pre-tax loss amounting to 7.984 billion naira. According to the figures contained in the audited financial report, the group's financial performance for the year is unimpressive when compared with the 1.942 billion naira pre-tax profit the company reported in 2019. A review of PZ audited annual financial report revealed that the decline in revenue would spike the pre-tax loss of 7.984 billion naira came from the 17.5% fall in the sale of home and personal care products, which is the core business segment of the group. However, in the light of the figures contained in the report, Nairametrics was able to uncover that the sales of the company's products, which include products such as Morning Fresh, Zip, Kenus, Premier, Joy, Stella, Venus, Impression Leather, Cussons Baby, Carex, Robs, etc. declined in 2020 compared to the sales from this segment in the corresponding period of 2019. On the flip side, revenue from the sales of durable electricity appliances increased from 27.136 billion naira in 2019 to 28.083 billion naira in 2019. The group's prospect for profitable for the financial year 2020 was eroded by selling and distribution expenses of 10.214 billion naira and administrative expenses of 5.477 billion naira. However, these expenses completely eroded the gross profit of 8.622 billion naira to the tune of 7.069 billion naira operating loss. And on the international scene, Mali's junta has removed a major obstacle to the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions. The soldiers who overthrew President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita on August 18th has renounced the Colonel Assimi Goita can replace the civilian president in the transition. The junta here accedes to a primordial demand of the Community of West African States ECOWAS to lift the sanction imposed on Mali on August 20th, foremost among which is commercial and financial embargo. A representative of the ECOWAS in Mali, Hamidou Boli, indicated shortly before the confirmation of the concession that the sanctions could be lifted quickly. Maybe in the hours or days to come, as soon as the charter is published, the sanctions will be lifted. The junta analysts say is worried about the effect of the sanctions on a country in the grip of a deep economic slump. The soldiers whose putsch ended months of political protests, fueled by the expiration of Malians' pledge to return power to civilians after a transitional period of 18 months. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. 11 Nigerians rescued from bandits in Zamfara State. Inspector General of Police bans some special units from routine patrols. Force Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force visit 4th Joint Military Region in Cameroon. On business, PZ CUSSONS suffers a pre-tax loss of 7.984 billion naira in 2019. And on the international scene, Mali's junta has removed a major obstacle to the lifting of ECOWAS sanctions. That's the news. On behalf of the production crew, Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Ibrahim Garbatounou, I am Samira Ibrahim, wishing you a pleasant day. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News. Goodbye.